It's the Walking Dead TV podcast, video edition. Hi, I'm Jordan with the Walking Dead TV podcast, the #1 Walking Dead themed podcast on iTunes, and this is where I thought of the second episode of The Walking Dead on AMC, Guts. If you're a reader of the comic like I am, then you knew exactly what to expect from the title of this episode, or at least one scene, and I think we can pretty much safely say that it delivered exactly what it promised, and the exact same feel of the comic. Yes, the surrounding material was different. There was a lot of different things in this episode from the comic, but it still got the tone right. It still felt like The Walking Dead. This particular episode did feel different from the first one. The first one was much slower, much more character-based, and this particular episode was a bit more focused on the action. I liked it, though. As a companion piece to episode 1, if you watch it from beginning to end, those first 2 episodes, it almost feels like a separate movie. Now, I have no idea what to expect from episode 3. Presumably, the gang is going to get back together, they're going to meet up at the camp, and maybe stuff starts hitting the fan when Rick discovers things about Lori and Shane, or will he? We don't really know. Now, if after this video you're still interested in what I thought and what some other friends of mine thought, you're going to want to check out WalkingDeadTV.com. That's WalkingDeadTV.com, or at WDTV Podcast on Twitter, to check out the Walking Dead TV podcast, the #1 Walking Dead podcast on iTunes currently. We're really happy about that. And subscribe, leave us a review, let us know what you think, call in our voicemail, send us a tweet, send us an email. All the information's in the show or on the website, WalkingDeadTV.com. We're interested in what you think, and we hope you're interested in what we think, so check that out. I gotta say, I really liked Michael Rooker's part in this episode. He's a new character, as were a lot of the characters in the show, and I haven't really enjoyed him in anything since Mallrats. Disclaimer, not because he's bad, in fact, he's a bit too good. He plays his part in Mallrats so well, I was unable to see him as anything else for years, until this episode tonight, I guess. And, yeah, I don't like people like that. So, that wasn't cool. But, in this episode, he's also hateable, but for a totally different reason. That doesn't make me love his character, certainly, because it's not a lovable quality. But it doesn't turn me off so much that I can't watch him on screen like the other role he played was. Then Stephen Yeun shows up as Glenn. He looks just like the character, and I really liked his performance. He seemed to me kind of like the Hurley of this show. Not that he's quite the same character, although he does puke at one point. But he was just a really lovable character. I'm very interested to see where they go with him in the show. He's one of those characters in the book that I certainly can remember him in there, but I can't remember a lot of the things he's done. Some that stand out more than others, but a lot of it just kind of fades in the background, so it'll be interesting to revisit that character, especially this early on in the series. Like I mentioned before, there's a bunch of new characters, and I'm totally cool with that. There's a couple characters in the book that you kind of need to have. Lori, Rick, Shane, Carl, Andrea, Glenn. Characters like that. But there's also quite a few, especially in the beginning, characters from the book that, let's just say, don't make it very far. So having some nameless extras in the camp, having your Moraleses, your Jackies who weren't in the book at all, I'm totally cool with that. Flesh it out some. You can replace characters that didn't matter. You can do away with characters that didn't matter. You know, there's a character in the book who gets eaten pretty much. It's like issue 5. I don't know if we'd ever noticed him in the book before. He might have had like 2 or 3 dialogue bubbles. So here we can replace that with a character we've already grown to love, or we can just have another nameless extra in the background. It doesn't really matter. You know, broaden out that cast a little bit. It gives you more chance for zombie kills, like we saw tonight, or human kills, which we still haven't seen on the show. Just an interesting note. 2 episodes in, we haven't seen a single human get bitten yet. I'm kind of interested to see how they pull that off, because it's kind of one of the main zombie tropes that hasn't been used in the show yet. And I want to see it. So that's what I thought of episode 2 of AMC's The Walking Dead, Guts. Like I said before, if you want to know more about what I thought or what some of my friends thought, check out WalkingDeadTV.com early this morning. By the time you wake up, by the time you've even seen this, it'll probably be online. But WalkingDeadTV.com for the episode 7 will be our Guts review, and I'm interested to talk with them and see what they thought. And so I better go and actually do that. Bye. Have a good week. It's the Walking Dead TV podcast, video edition.